What's up, Mako Madness fans? This is Brandon checking in from SeaWorld Orlando. We're here today for a pass holder town hall meeting with Joel Manby, but of course, we're going to check out a few of other things in the park. So let's go!
One of the best parts about working with killer whales is getting to share them through our relationships with our guests, getting to educate people about them. We're animal people, and we want to teach people about animals, so we're very excited about this change.
This new experience is really going to be whale focused. It's going to be about the whales. So the shows were once really razzle-dazzle with moving screens and dancing and lights and video. We're going to get away from that. We're going to go more natural behaviors.
We think that education should be fun so that people can experience something that really touches them in their heart. Because when you have fun while you're learning and you're entertained while you're learning, that will stick with you forever. So this new encounter is going to be every bit as exciting as it has been in the past, if not more so, because it's going to be real. Most people will never have the opportunity to see killer whales in their natural environment. So we're really excited to be able to demonstrate natural killer whale behaviors right here at SeaWorld so that people can learn more about them and make a connection to them. Have you ever wondered why a killer whale breaches? Well, a lot of people have seen these breaches in our shows in the past. You can also see a whale doing that behavior in the wild in order to communicate. When you see our whales sliding up and out of the water into the slide out, that's the same behavior that they do when they're hunting, when they slide out on a beach.
Guests are going to be able to see them up close, interacting, playing, breaching. That's exciting.
We're putting a huge emphasis on making this as naturalistic of an environment as possible, from the selection of the materials, from the rock work, the trees, the water fountains, all the way to the inside of the stadium where the guests sit. We want people to have an emotional connection to these animals, and we hope to be able to make sure that they go away with a respect for these animals and a want to continue to protect them.
This is a very positive change. We've been through a lot in the past couple of years, and we love our whales just as much as we always have, and getting the chance to present them in a more natural way is going to be very special to all of us.
We need to share.
Yes, sir.
So, that's a big picture of me. I have been with the company for just a short 41 years, but I've been here in this job. But I've been in this job for 15 months, working with a talented group here in Orlando at SeaWorld Discovery Cove and Aquatica, and it's really been rewarding. One of the things we focus on is how do we advance the experience for the people that play here and the people that work here. So millions of people that come here as a guest and thousands of people that work here. At the end of the day, I am clearly, along with many others, in the people business, and it's a very rewarding job. Early on, 15 months ago, probably within the first 2 weeks, we started talking immediately about we need to do a better job of connecting the dots for people. The work we do with rescue, rehabilitation, and release, that people need to understand that we are a company that puts a lot of time and effort and money to this. We're a theme park company, but we're also a world-class zoological institution. And we quickly turned our attention to manatees and said, that's a behind-the-scenes experience that you only have the opportunity to see if you're on a tour. Why not bring it forward and make it part of proper? So we invested in the area. Probably all of you have been there, hopefully many times, and we reimagined that area, and now every guest who comes into SeaWorld can understand what we do. And when we were designing it, one of our guardrails was clearly, don't be aspirational. We don't want people to think this is something we intend to do. People need to understand it's something that we do. We've actually been rescuing manatees since 1976. We're approaching 600 rescues, and we've let go well over 300. And I'm a huge fan of simplicity, both in my personal life and in business, and I love this on one of the interpretive signs. Our goal is simple: return every manatee we successfully rehabilitate to the wild. That's actually what we do with every animal we rescue. Our intention is to rehabilitate and release. The only ones we don't is if the governing authority, like NOAA for example, if they step in and deem the animal unreleasable, then we either find a good home for the animal in our system or somewhere else. So beach cleanups, you know, in addition to a world-class zoological company, we're a conservation organization as well. And there are opportunities for you to get involved in this. The first one that comes to mind is to participate in beach cleanups. And that's you. Some of you are very likely in that picture. That's from a beach cleanup earlier this year, and later this year, September-ish, you're going to get more information on the past member website about how you can partner with us and do beach cleanups. So I hope you'll take that opportunity. All right, Mako. You know, we've been talking about Mako now for a while, and we're just not too long from the opening day. We've announced June 10th, of course, and as you know, you probably know all the facts: 200 feet tall, 4,760 feet in length, which is 9/10 of a mile if you do the math, 73 miles an hour, and a lot of airtime. So we're excited about that. What is either you might have seen very recently or you will see, and anytime we can give information to you, our past members, or our ambassadors, and you be the first or near the first, we certainly want to do that. So what I'm going to share with you just in a moment is the commercial that you see both in television and online videos. So please roll the spot.
It's one of the ocean's most ferocious predators. Faster, fiercer, it knows no equal until now. Mako, the tallest, fastest, largest coaster in Orlando. Surfacing June 10th. Buy a SeaWorld annual pass now and be one of the first to ride Mako. Feel the predator power.
Mako is a hypercoaster, and many of you, all of you, understand that a hypercoaster doesn't invert. It's long and fast. I mean, it has some serious banks to it, an Emmelman turn and some other elements. But, you know, I'm 58 years old, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know how many more times I want to go upside down. So a coaster like this, it has enough zip in it that it'll certainly appeal to teenagers and young adults, but it'll also appeal to, it won't exclude people my age, for example. So I think it's a good choice. So we have 3 exclusive opportunities for past members, and I'll explain them briefly. The first one is a limited preview event. And so on Wednesday, June 8th, you see the time at the bottom there, 7:30 to 10. We are hosting a celebration party, a kickoff of sorts with media and some other folks regarding Mako that would open just 2 days later on the 10th. And the first 500 past members to register will join us. So we'll have 1,000 past members at the event. So the way you do it, it's simple. On May 21st or May 22nd, I shouldn't say or, May 21st and May 22nd, you'll go to the past member lounge and you'll register, and we're going to take it to the first 500 each day, but the 1,000 will attend the event. And just as a reminder, it is for premium pass members, not for guests. So we look forward to 1,000 of you joining us for that event. Next is the one-time quick queue. I think all of us understand quick queue is an opportunity to efficiently advance to the front of the line. One note about quick queue, we very much are into balance. We realize that everybody who comes in pays something to get in SeaWorld. We want to service everybody. So quick queue is something that we manage the inventory on. We never allow ourselves to oversell because we want to make sure everybody has a great experience. In this case though, 500 past members per day from June 11th through June 30th will have the opportunity for a complimentary quick queue. You simply do it by going to SeaWorldOrlando.com/pass, which I think you're familiar with that site, and again, 500 per day, so I hope you'll take advantage of that. If that doesn't work for you, there's more. Early entry, it's very straightforward. We're gonna open the park at 8 a.m. on Tuesday and Saturdays, so 2 days a week, June 18th through August 13th, nearly 2 months, and simply show up at our front gate and show your active pass, okay? There's always more, and you might have seen that recently, just a few days ago, we announced SeaWorld, our partnership with marine wildlife artist and renowned conservationist Guy Harvey. Together with the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation, we will work to protect sharks, their ocean habitats, and increase public awareness. SeaWorld Orlando Pass members will soon, not today, but will soon have the opportunity to purchase a Guy Harvey commemorative hard stock pass for $5. 100%, thank you, 100% will be donated by SeaWorld to the Guy Harvey Ocean Foundation Fund. So 100% goes, and it'll continue to support their scientific research they do and ocean conservation. So a great opportunity, and you see an image there of what the pass will look like. So I can't, before I turn the mic back over to Joel, I can't stand before you and not also make a comment or two about Discovery Cove and Aquatica, two wonderful parks. And the first one is a reminder that we have a rate offer that is often available throughout the year, but I want to remind you of $169 is based on availability. The availability piece is that sometimes we do sell out. So, and as you know, we limit attendance into Discovery Cove. So it's based on availability, but if you're out far enough, you can get this rate of $169, and you can purchase up to 6 on any time that you want to bring you or your family to the park. And then, of course, Aquatica, and we're ramping back up Island Nights. It kicks off July 8th and goes through August 6th. And Friday and Saturday nights is when we'll have the live DJ and put a little more energy and emphasis into it, more of a party atmosphere, although it actually runs 7 nights a week. And one of the things, I'm not ready to spill the beans on it today, but I think the Pass Member Lounge has been popular. We are going to create a Pass Member area, so not a lounge, not an indoor space, but a Pass Member area over at Aquatica. So you'll see details on that on the Pass Member website very soon, and there'll be some niceties and offers that'll come with that as well. And the last thing I have for you before I turn it back over to Joel is today, for any Pass Member, hopefully you didn't just come for the meeting, but you're going to enjoy the day with us. We're offering you 20% off any culinary purchase today in the park. Okay? All right, well, thank you. And, you know, as always, I'm out in the park a lot, often with a pan of broom, and if you want to talk to me, just stop me and I'll talk to you anytime. Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm going to move really quickly so we can get to your Q&A, but I did want to share some about our future and where we want to head. Our mantra for the future is we want experiences that matter. And we call this our brand house on one piece of paper wrapper for my kids love that. It got the Daytime Emmy for the Outstanding Children's Series. So we're really proud of that. We're definitely continuing. If anything, we're going to try to get more eyeballs on sea rescue, more eyeballs on wildlife docs, and really get this message of rescue out there. So very excited about that. We also want to turn the parks inside out. I think Donnie already talked about that with the manatee area, showing more to our customers and our guests what we do to help animals. I'll just tell you a quick story. I came here literally 3 weeks ago and saw one of our vets at 8 in the morning on a Sunday, 8 in the morning, operating on a turtle that had been hit by a car and just repairing its back shell. And then this picture actually is in our ER in Bush, Tampa, our emergency room there. I went there and we're operating on a bald eagle that had been hit by a car, and they're repairing its wing. And I think, what kind of company? This is the amazing company that I work for. They're doing these kind of things. It's just amazing to me. I'm just so proud of what we do there. Let me just see. Yes, and you know, the rescue experiences, for some reason, the slide's not, I'm just going to skip that because we've talked enough about that for sake of time. This one is actually not coming to Orlando, but I just want to tell you about it because you get Mako, somebody has to have something else. So in San Antonio, we're putting the Sea Rescue Ride, and this is a way we can integrate our rescue message and still have fun. So it's one of the best launch coasters in the world. You go out over the water, but in the queuing area, you learn about the plight of dolphins and whales getting caught. And then in bycatch by fishermen, 1,000 whales and dolphins every day die from fishermen bycatch. You shoot out over the water, you come back in, and you find out you've rescued an animal. And on the way out, you can make a donation to help solve this problem, or just buy merchandise, and it'll go towards that cause. So just another example of how we're trying to be fun and meaningful at the same time. And then I'm wrapping up here to get to the questions, but I talked about rescue. The vision of the company is not only be the largest rescue operation in the United States, but the largest rescue operation in the world. And we're going to start creating, either through partnerships or building, rescue centers on every continent to impact all 7 oceans of the world. And when we build our park in the Middle East, which we're working on, and we aren't ready to say it's final, but we're working hard on it. The first thing we're going to build is a rescue center there before we build a theme park. And it's an incredible idea. So, the new SeaWorld in summary, then we'll get to Q&A. Oh, I'm sorry, let me go back. My bad. I'm too jumpy here. Sorry. I'm the CEO and I can't run a projector. That should give you guys great comfort. They're all over there saying, come on, Joel, it's a button. So we're going to be protectors of animals and the wild wonders of the world. From a rescue standpoint, we're going to inspire and take action, experiences that matter, inspire millions to learn to be better stewards of the earth. And then we want to partner with other people like Guy Harvey and the Humane Society and others to share our purpose. So I am going to close with just one last video to try to paint the picture of the future.
A true moment of inspiration never keeps to itself. It defies boundaries and makes its own reality. From moments curious and filled with wonder, to a place of pure imagination and possibilities unimaginable. It's the call to explore with an instance of connection that keeps on connecting in ways only a child can understand. Sometimes it's a small discovery that becomes a seed for the future. Or an epic encounter here, telling of the wild places out there. For SeaWorld, the evidence is in experiences that matter. With every impression and at every intersection of fun and meaningful. It's exploration answered with inspiration. Discovery rewarded with tales to tell. And curiosity met with wonder that what we see in nature reveals the nature we see in ourselves. So, welcome to the explorers, the believers, the searchers, the champions of the wild. A new frontier calls, and these moments are your moments. To protect, to preserve, to celebrate, and take on one action at a time for lasting good. Because SeaWorld knows that what touches the heart can touch everyone. It's proof that one moment of inspiration can change our world.
Gives you a little glimpse of the future, and what we want to do now is move into Q&A. So if you guys want to bring the chairs out so we can sit down, and I want to bring Donnie up again because some of the questions are going to be for him, and then Chris Dole. Chris Dole is our new head of zoological operations. Chris was a swimmer at Wisconsin. Can you tell? A good swimmer. And
email address with us and we'll get those questions answered. But the first question, guys, this is a really great question, a great way to lead off. It is, well, hi, my name is Seth Tasbeer and I am now 12. I have been coming here ever since I was 2 when I found my forever family. I am special needs and Tilly is my best friend. I need to know how he is.
All right, I think I'm going to let Chris.
Yeah, that is a great question. Tilly is all of our friend, and that, Steve, that is a perfect question to start off with. Thank you very much for asking the question. So Tilly, actually, the short story is that Tilly is doing great today. He is on the mend, slowly, but at the same time, we want to keep in mind that he is an older killer whale. And he still has his illness. So every day we check on him, every day his trainers pay attention to him. He has a complete sort of look over every morning, and then our veterinary team does a complete health assessment on him really every other day. We get blood results from him. So he's making small incremental improvements in his lab results, which is a very good sign. But he has his up days and his down days, so today's an up day so far. We're going to continue to pay close attention to him and keep him on that path towards hopefully ultimately resolution and health again.
The next question is, now that there will no longer be whale theatrical shows, do you foresee that other animal theatrical shows will also be phased out? Basically, what is the long-term goal of SeaWorld for your animals?
I should take that one. We are not making any other decisions on the other shows at this time. We're going to learn from our orca encounter and see how our guests respond to it, and then we'll apply those learnings to our other shows. And I think we take it a step at a time. Just the orca show alone is going to be a 3-year implementation because we understand we have to take it a step at a time and we have to do it right. So I can't make any predictions other than we will learn from our orca encounter.
Why has SeaWorld made no public attempt to rescue Lolita from the Miami Seaquarium? Her conditions could be vastly improved through SeaWorld's care and surely would improve many opinions on the care of SeaWorld's orcas.
Yeah, we get that question. I'm going to let Chris answer. He's more of an expert.
Yeah, so Lolita is an interesting case. She is an older killer whale also, and she's been at the Miami Seaquarium for a very long time. But we in the marine mammal health community and at SeaWorld, working with the Miami Seaquarium, have a great working partnership, professional partnership. Their veterinarians talk with our veterinary team all the time. And despite what would look like a disparity in the space for the kinds of pools that Lolita lives in versus our whales, Lolita is actually a very healthy killer whale. She's living a very long life in a place that she's very familiar with. So her veterinary team, her animal health team, and those of us who work with killer whales really believe that moving her from that scenario may be ultimately more detrimental to her health and well-being than just allowing her to stay there with the dolphins that she lives with, the people she's familiar with. So she's an older whale, and she's thriving there at Miami Seaquarium. But we are a community of animal health professionals. We always want to do as much as we possibly can for the health and well-being of these animals whose care we're entrusted with. So we are always in constant dialogue as a community.
Thanks, Dr. Joel. I want to assure Michael Fletcher, our Vice President of Entertainment, that I did not write this question. My wife and I have been annual pass holders since 2001, and we were wondering if SeaWorld would bring back the water ski show, which we enjoy. Other than that, we enjoy everything at SeaWorld. We think everyone is doing a super job.
Donnie answer that question.
One of the things I noticed sitting here, look at these two guys, and I go, gosh, I wish I had a phone book to sit on it, for those of you who remember. We're always talking about the future, and when we think about future investment, we identify gaps and opportunities because we certainly want to advance the experience in a number of ways. And we haven't talked about the ski show per se, but we have talked about the lake, and the lake presents a wonderful opportunity, a canvas, if you will, a stage, to do something spectacular on. So I think there's going to be more conversation around that concept of using the lake as a stage versus a ski show. But the one thing you can depend on from SeaWorld, and not only SeaWorld, but all of our parks across our system, is there's more to come.
My daughter has been inspired by her 8 years of summer camps to enter college as a marine biologist. I'm concerned now that PETA has won, they will go after the rest of the marine life, and eventually the inspiration will be gone. How far are you willing to push back?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't feel like PETA has won. They might have a victory with the orca issue. However, we weren't responding, and I know I said this earlier, but you have to believe me on this. We did not respond to PETA. We responded to data that said the bass middle. PETA's been pushing for a long time on a variety of issues. There was a perfect storm on the orca situation. A lot of issues, you know, unfortunately Dawn's accident, legislation, a movie that wasn't very true but got a lot of traction, and just a variety of issues. We were the only ones that had orcas. I don't think there will be a lot of traction on other animals, but if there is, I do promise one thing, at least as long as I'm here, we're not going to wait to respond on any unfair attacks.
The next question. I love SeaWorld Orlando and have been coming to this park for about 30 years. Your aquariums and animal exhibits are awesome, especially the new Antarctica exhibit. Will you continue investing in aquarium and animal exhibits?
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, you know, some of the ideas we have in the Middle East and some of our new ideas for here, as we think about 50 years from now without an orca encounter here, what can we do? And certainly a huge Invest in the World aquarium is one of the ideas. That's not for certain, but it's certainly something we have to keep investing in.
And not precisely an aquarium, but along these lines, look for something new at the relaxation station adjacent to the Wild Arctic Q area. Look for something new there in the first 10 days of June. I think you'll enjoy it.
When this all started, why did the company not do more to bury the blackfish effect? Also, why and how does the legislation in California affect Orlando and San Antonio parks?
You know, as I said, the decision was a perfect storm, and I have to repeat what I said, why it was a perfect storm, and certainly the documentary Blackfish was one of the elements there. Do I wish the company had fought harder, faster? Yes, I wasn't here. But I do think there were a lot of issues that made it a perfect storm. Having said that, I think all we can do, we've made this very difficult decision. We're moving forward, and I don't know, but PETA had a press release this week, and we put out a statement immediately that pushed back on their unreasonable and unproven and unscientific request to put our orcas in sea cages that introduces more risk to the whale and costs hundreds of millions of dollars for no improvement to the whale. So we'll push back on anything that's unreasonable in the future.
And I wanted to ask this. Nobody ever said anything about anything that happened here, and Donnie knows this, I've had this for 39 years. Nobody ever said anything about anything you guys did in this wonderful place until what happened with Dawn. And I know you weren't here, but maybe Donnie can answer this. I think if the company had done more sooner, a lot of this wouldn't have happened.
Right. Well,
because, I mean, they're killer whales. I love Dawn like she was a mom to me because I talked to her 2 days before it happened. But I just think if we had done something, you know, or you as a company.
And I appreciate that, and I know you're a very passionate season pass holder, and I appreciate the passion. And I am not going to deny the fact that I think the company could have reacted better to the attacks against it. And I think to revisit it too much is it is what it is at this point, and the research was really, really clear. And but I can promise you, and I'm very energetic, especially as a leader who had to be part of a very difficult decision with our board. I'm very determined to stick up for the company and move really quickly, because it's just, this is a beautiful, great company that got a bad rap. That's why I came here. And I really thought communicating the truth would win, but after a year of doing it, we came to a different conclusion, and we had to remove a barrier and move on. But I'm with you, man. We got to fight. We got to fight.
And just a reminder to everybody, what we'd like to do is we're going to try to push through these questions as quickly as possible so that we can get to everybody's questions.
Sorry.
No, not you. It's me. It's all me. Here's a good one. Anything more for pass holders due to giving up the big show? So, anything you on the way?
More than 20% off? Three things you can get in early? Go ahead.
I don't have more to announce today, but I will tell you that it is a frequent conversation that being a pass member needs to be part of something, and that easily led to the pass member lounge. It's got to be more than it includes your parking and you get 10% off. It has to be more than that. So we quickly worked on that, and the first execution was a pass member lounge. But you heard me say we're going to have a pass member area this summer at Aquatica, and we're going to continue to look for ways to elevate the benefits and make sure that you have reasons to remain a pass member, to attend opportunities like this, and give us feedback. Sometimes the feedback comes in opportunities for improvement, criticism, which is fine. Sometimes it's support and praise. I'll take either one. I like the latter better, but I'll take either one. So yeah, there's definitely more to come. One of the questions I bet that's probably going to come up is about entry and exit to the park, which every theme park, every water park of any kind is always looking to make the entry and exit process more efficient. And we have opportunity because we, as you may or may not realize when you're up there, we have a main entrance, but we have a side area. And one of the opportunities for us that we could probably act upon pretty easily is when we know we're going to be busy. I mean, we know when we're busy, summer, Easter, Christmas, and a few other times of the year, maybe open up a pass member entrance to make it easier for you to enter and exit the park. So we'll take
Does anyone else actually advocate for animals, particularly marine animals, like SeaWorld does?
No. Of course, we're biased. No. Well, there's a lot of great organizations, and I'll let Chris answer that, but there are hundreds of great organizations.
You know, it is it's a really great question. Did I just do that? With my giant chin. I don't think anybody connects with as many people the way SeaWorld does, and allows all of you and all of the millions of other folks who come to our parks all the time to see and appreciate and fall in love with our animals, and then understand just what advocacy is on behalf of animals in the wild. No, nobody else does it like SeaWorld. But there are a lot of other great organizations out there, zoos, ocean area, around, not just the United States, but around the world, that have the same drumbeat that we do, right? That have the same, want to build that same sense of ethos and awareness that we all need to have and really treasure, so that we can be good stewards of this planet that we share with some incredible animals. So it's a wonderful community, but no, gosh darn, I'm really proud of what we do here at SeaWorld, and no one.
Are there any plans to bring the mimes back?
In the 15 months that I was listening to the booth, I'll take that. In the 15 months that I've been here, it's come up a couple of times, not a lot, but I remember how well it was executed. Particularly Blue Horizons comes to mind. And I'm not making this up because I'm sitting in front of you. I am terribly honest and transparent. But I actually talked to my wife about that recently, and I said, I've got to follow up with Michael Fletcher in our entertainment department. We've got to build that back into our plans going forward. So I would say we're going to take a serious look at that. And, but I also need to be clear with you. I don't see that coming back this year, but as early as 17, that makes more sense from how we plan our business perspective. So. Look for that. Look for yes. Look for the to use the Mako term. Look for the resurfacing. So, resurfacing.
That's a scary visual you just created.
Yeah.
And what year will the Orca shows stop in Orlando?
year that the new one will be introduced. So it would end at end of 18 is the current plan. Nobody's changed.
How will the changes at SeaWorld affect the zoological operations at the bush parks?
I really don't see a change in the bush park. Do you see anything?
No, it's kind of, it's an overarching question. I think that the change that we've announced with regards to our killer whales does not have any change, large change in terms of how we approach animal care, the kinds of animals that we bring into the parks, and ultimately, certainly our commitment to their health and well-being, but fundamentally our commitment to connecting all of you, our guests, with those animals in new and inspirational ways. So no changes.
As A Wondrous Nights is so popular, will there be more shows scheduled this year of A Wondrous Nights?
I'll answer the question right now, possibly. We realize how popular it is, and it's, you know, when I had the opportunity, when I joined the team last year, to see it, it's a fantastic show. I spent much of my career on the Bush Sesame side, and certainly came to the SeaWorld parks, but I was focused on the Bush Sesame side. But it's an outstanding show, and it seems to speak to everybody. One of the things you have to keep in mind when you're in the business we're in is people and animals have limits, and we have to be respectful of those limits. So sometimes a show like that, to do more, you have to double cast, and it's not a simple decision, it's a very big decision. So we'll take a look at that, but we are not ready to make an announcement, but I'll tell you exactly what it is. We'll let our marketing folks handle it with the timing that they'd like to have. But this Christmas, the celebration here at SeaWorld, you're going to see a new component, a new realm, if you will, that you haven't seen in the past. So we may not have more A Wondrous Night shows, but I can tell you that we're going to keep the Christmas celebration fresh. Okay?
Just to add what Donnie said, the thought of festivals and shows to add elements to be repeatable and come back to the park is definitely an important part of our future, because I think festivals are an incredible way to change up how the park feels to different groups of audiences, and I think it's a good strategy.
Joel, this is specifically for you. Why did you leave Hershey for SeaWorld?
Because two things. One is I have always loved SeaWorld. The first theme park I ever went to was Busch Gardens, and I've always loved the company. I'm an animal lover, grew up on a farm, and I just love who they are, and so our operations here are incredible. The second thing is, regardless of the controversy we were involved in and some of the tough decision we made, I've always been a real culture advocate. I wrote a book called Love Works while I was at Hershey that talks about how you treat employees. You know, the level of enthusiasm of your guest experience can't rise any higher than the enthusiasm of your own employee. And unfortunately, I haven't been able to focus a lot on that. And I've always wanted to do that within a public company to show that it's not just private companies that can care about people and still get great results, also public companies. So it's really both issues, and I'd like to be able to start focusing on the second one now that we got through a difficult decision to move forward.
I love this first question. It's a two-part question. First one is, how are you?
No, I'm not. Me or these guys?
I think you individually, but I assume everyone.
You know, it's been a difficult year, to be honest with you, and like I said, no one likes to make the decision we had to make, but I feel really good about the future, what you've seen for this year here, where we're headed. I know for sure with passionate customers like you and the way we care about animals, wild places, I know it fits into where society's headed, and we're all about moving forward now, and so I'm very good, and I'm excited about the future.
We're all good. We're all good. Second part of the question. Are you excited about Mako?
I'm incredibly excited. You excited? Yes. I like that answer much better. Although I don't know that she's 54 inches. But anyway.
Are there plans to develop a better line of communication between pass holders and SeaWorld for questions, suggestions, compliments, etc.? Perhaps Twitter, email?
I think the short answer is yes. This and what we did online with the 800 number call in. We're definitely looking for better ways to be engaged and be transparent. And you guys are, the reason we're all here is because of you. So we definitely want to open up the lines of communication, which we're trying to do. So yes.
Will we still accept injured orcas?
Yes. You know, the government controls all those decisions, and if we are asked to help with any rescue of any marine mammal or any animal, we step in and do what we can. Thanks, Grace.
The next question is, how have the animal trainers reacted?
You know, as I said earlier, I met with all of the whale trainers, and Chris was with me, Donnie was here. You know, the park presidents were at each individual park, and actually my wife came with me too as kind of moral support. And it was incredibly emotional. And you can imagine they were not just, it wasn't just a difficult decision. It was kind of 5 years of things that have been happening. And but like I said, the next day I got letters back from them. They appreciated the conversation, just like I would hope you would appreciate this kind of conversation. And they're moving forward, and we've got them very engaged in this New Orca encounter. I just got a picture with all of them in a line, and they had their boards with all the stick-em notes of what they want to see in each of the segments, like the segment on how they hunt, how they play, how they interact, how they engage. And it was really, you saw it too, Chris, it's really exciting that they're starting to focus on the future.
When did you think of the idea for Mako?
That was more, actually the first week before I even was announced, that was kind of the first decision, was to approve that. But it was in works with the interim CEO. I don't know, Donnie, if you were involved in that, but I didn't, it was not my idea. I just had to write the check.
Generally, new product development is a 3-year process. It could be a little longer, it could be a little shorter, but generally it starts 3 years prior to something opening, and it starts with identifying through research what are our opportunities, what are our gaps, what's the consumers, our guests telling us that we have a gap, an opportunity to fill to advance the experience in a meaningful way. But typically it's a 3-year process.
Donnie, I think you already touched on this to a degree, but the question is, will there be a past preview for Mako?
Yeah, I mean, the 3 options are the opportunity to come, the 1,000 people before we open, and then the opportunities to come after we open, but not, you know, we assume it's going to be very, very popular, so we're giving past members an opportunity to efficiently get to the front of the line, if you will, by either the quick queue or the early entry, and you know, enjoy this wonderful coaster.
With the stopping of one ocean, will there be more exposure to the whales with the guests, like you have with dolphins?
I'm not sure what that means, other than disagree with the decision. I don't expect you to like it. You can't, maybe, but I do hope you understand it, and I do hope that you stick with us and tell others about us, because our mission is one that people should know about and they should believe in. And I thank you so much for this. It's been really reinforcing to me to have you all here, and I thank you very much for being here. So thank you.
And outside the Nautilus Theater, we have some t-shirts for sale. They are exclusive pass member t-shirts. Have the logo right there, but those are the exact same shirts that we saw during the Mako Rising show. If you scroll around to the back, that's just a SeaWorld hat. But they are selling these t-shirts for $10. Get them while they're hot. And over here, for the little ones, or maybe the little ones at heart, you can buy a Mako stuffed animal. They do have some lanyards, some pins, stuff like that. More generic stuff, but it definitely ties into the Mako very well. Over here, as we highlighted during the pass holder town hall, they definitely have a big partnership with Guy Harvey, and we have lots of shirts here for sale that are Guy Harvey branded that tie into the Mako shark. Those shirts are going for about $27.95, and used ones are $22.95. They look great. Woohoo! Sky Tower is open.
With which we share our planet. Watch Sea Rescue this weekend on ABC.
And up here at the top, we get our first aerial view of Mako.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
A little bit of work going on in the queue line, and there we can see a train is on the transfer table.
Believe it or not, you can find some amazing aquariums in the gift shop of Journey to Atlantis, where sharks circle above you and schools of fish swim around you. As the cabin rotates, you'll see the large area of the park that's currently under construction. That's the future realm of Mako. When you exit the Sky Tower today, you'll pass through Oyster Secret, where you can purchase a beautiful Akoya pearl, one of nature's most wonderful treasures. Just ask one of our oyster experts, and they'll help you discover the oyster secret.
Over here near Shark Wreck Reef, we get a little bit of a view of some new work that's been done. Let's venture further inside the shark realm and see what they've done. Over near sharks, we actually can see that the sign on sharks is gone. But we do still have that sign right over here for the new sign for sharks underwater grill. Zooming out, we actually do see over here a new sign going up. Now we covered the sign on the left, but there is actually a new one on the right now as well, with some brackets that are actually going to form a overhead sign that'll connect these two supports there. Over near the shipwreck itself, part of the front of the ship is actually covered up. Looks like just a little bit more work for some thematic details down here. As you can see, they've covered up a lot of the bottom side of that shipwreck with rock work. I expect to see this done probably in about a week or so with paint and everything applied. Looking like it's coming along though for now. Peeking into the construction site using the available peek holes in the wall there, we see a little bit more work being done on the entrance to the ride. There's a little bit of a queue pathway being dug there, and I expect a lot of this ground to be flattened out so that pathway can be made. Back over at the Nautilus Theater, they've gotten everything ready to go for Mako Rising. Now, if you guys haven't seen our video of Mako Rising, you can go ahead and take a look in our video section for that. But if you are in the park and you want some air conditioning, check out Mako Rising at 2:45. They have eliminated that first show, but you can still watch it at 2:45. Getting our last look at Mako for today, we are over at the Flamingo Boat Dock, and we can see a lot more work has been done with those poles. They've established a clear ride area by adding some netting and some underwater fencing there. Looks a lot better than when those poles were first installed, and I gotta say they've cleaned it up a lot. Just add some paint onto them and they'll be good to go. Well guys, that's going to do it for another SeaWorld Orlando construction update. And as we learned from Joel Manby himself, we actually learned quite a bit of information about the future of SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment, as well as Mako itself. We actually learned when pass holders are going to get their first rides on Mako, and you know we're going to be there. So if you guys like what we do, be sure to follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and our YouTube page at Mako Madness, and we will see you out on the Midway.